I went 365 days unbeaten with FC Porto, and that isn't just in the Liga Portugal. That is including managing in the Champions League and winning that in Portugal, as well as 3 cup competitions, where over 365 days we did not lose a single game. And I'm going to show you exactly how I done that, whether it's the tactic that I used and it being absolutely fantastic. There will be a full tactic breakdown, whether it's the scouting methods and recruitment focuses that I went ahead and used for this whole entire rebuild, building my perfect team, and even if it's the staff responsibilities where I pretty much don't do a lot and I leave a lot of it to the game, and also with training, showing you my hints and tips to how to set up your perfect save. This is how I went invincible for a whole 365 days with FC Porto. Now, the first thing I want to go through is the staff responsibilities, because I believe there is a lot of things on Football Manager that you can let the game take care of, which make very, very minimal difference. Now, as you can see from the staff overview screen, we do have the best staff in-house in the whole entire league, whether that's scouting, medically, or in terms of coaches, and I do go out and try and find the best staff possible by using the staff search screen, going by coaches. If you've got a low attacking coach, you might get a better attribute in attacking for an attacking coach, and you should hopefully eventually build up this screen a hell of a lot here. But normally I leave my staff responsibilities to the technical director to go ahead and do. When it comes to hiring and firing the director and technical director, I do that, but the rest of it I pretty much leave to the game to go ahead and do. And that also comes with a lot of the contracts as well. There really isn't that much that you have to do as a manager in terms of contracts. To me, that's not my role as a manager. My role is to go ahead, make signings, and build the best team possible, and go ahead and do that. And when it comes to that as well, when it comes to training, I don't actually do my own training either, because for me, training is a screen which scares the living life out of me. You can see we're in the year 2028. I haven't even taken the training induction when you load up the game. That is how much I don't look at the training schedules. There is people out there like RDF that release fantastic videos on how to do the perfect training. My recommendation for training, either leave it to the game or go ahead and download that. I have never bothered to learn training. That is in every single rebuild I make on the channel. Everything I've ever done on FM, I haven't even dipped my toe in training, because in my opinion, the game does it better than I would. I have no idea what I'm waffling on about. When it comes to staff and training, the game can do a better job than I can. And then before we get into the actual tactic itself, I want to show you the league stats and how we performed. There was 34 games in the season with 31 wins and 3 draws, coming up against Sporting and a double draw against Familcial, which is a little bit frustrating as they finished down in 13th place. So a Centurion season in just 34 games would have been wonderful, but a very, very good year. We scored 112 goals, which was 30 more than Benfica, and conceded just 18 goals, 7 less than Benfica as well, and absolutely smashed it. And you can see players here like Evan Nilsson, Geronimo Russo, Seido Sansusi, Fabrizio Kronschau, Tobias Gilgerson, Kashmir Tobias in goal. And this rebuild came out a few weeks ago now, the Porto rebuild. It was absolutely fantastic, and we used the Moneyball approach to build the perfect team. That is how we have gone from, what's this, negative 5 million in the bank to 355 million pounds in the bank, and a 340 million pounds transfer budget with a 1.42 million pounds wage budget. So you can really build your perfect club using Moneyball. And like I said, we didn't just win that league, we went ahead and won the Champions League as well. And if we look at the schedule for the Champions League, like I said, unbeaten in every single game, a 3-3 draw against Real Madrid, beat Real Sociedad, beat Young Boys, beat Man City, beat Marseille, beat Leipzig, beat Cervenia Cervezdia, beat Newcastle, drew to Wolfsburg, beat PSG, drew to PSG, beat Real Madrid, drew to Real Madrid, and beat Milan in extra time. And we were absolutely fantastic in the Champions League. It's something we've been very good in for a few years, but we absolutely managed to absolutely smash it. Next up is the Liga Portugal, where again, we were absolutely unbelievable. I've just shown you guys the record, but some of the spells of form we were on was simply ridiculous. And see some of the games here: 7-0, 7-2, 4-1, 4-0, 5-0, 3-1, 5-0, 3-1, 4-0, 2-0. And like I said, it is not all about the tactic. The way I built the squad, I think you guys will find very, very interesting, and actually a big help maybe in your saves going forward. The Taca de Portugal, completely unbeaten, a 1-1 draw against Sporting before going ahead to beat them in the second leg. And the semi-finals was very good. The Super Taca was a 1-0 win against Benfica, and the League Cup again was a victory as well, which is absolutely fantastic to see. So quite literally completely unbeaten in every single game, which again I've never had in my life on Football Manager. I've had unbeatable seasons, but in every single competition I've never gone ahead and done this, which is why I think you guys deserve a full-on video on it. Now we'll go into breaking down the tactic, because the tactic is absolutely fantastic. This tactic is going to be available in the Discord, so feel free to go ahead and join that down below. Super keeper on support, no further instructions. Wing back on the attack on the right, cross more often, sit narrower, tackle harder, and the exact same on the left. Two ball playing defenders, both with tackle harder. A DM on support, tackle harder. A ball winner on midfielder on support, no further instructions. An inside forward on support on the right hand side, tackle harder, and the exact same on the left hand side. An attacking midfielder on attack will take more risk, dribble more, move into channels and tackle harder, and an advanced forward up front will shoot more often and tackle harder. You then go into the in possession stats and focusing play down the two wings, pass into space, slightly higher tempo, short in passing directness, run at defense and lower crosses. In transition, counter press, distribute to the back line and take short kicks. And out of possession, it's a high press system, pressing a lot and triggering the press as much as you can as well, especially onto that goalkeeper. And again, I think the tactic is fairly simple. There's nothing too special about it. You've got DMs, which are quite aggressive, wing backs, which are going to bomb up down here, while the inside forwards sit in this channel here. So you eventually get sort of a five-pronged attack behind Evan Nielsen with a box midfield with the two centre backs and the two DMs to go ahead and play that pass. It's a bit of like a Pep plays it sometimes in the 3-1. 4-1, I think it is, maths-wise, that how it works. This is sort of a 2-2-5-1. It's even more attacking. It is very, very aggressive. And as you can see from the data hub, it scores a lot of goals, 3.29 goals per game and 0.53 tactics. But I genuinely believe that is not the reason we have gone ahead and gone invincible. The tactic is fantastic. There is no doubt about it. But the way I have built this team is why I believe this formation and this whole sort of save has come across as an invincible season. So season 1, we sold 88 million pounds of players, then sold 57 and brought in just 59 million pounds, then sold 150 million pounds of players, brought in 96, sold 70 million pounds of players, brought in 15, sold 118 million pounds of players, signed just 28 million pounds. And this is all due to the Moneyball method. Now there is a full video breaking down how to use Moneyball, how it works, how to get those beautiful spreadsheets on your game, and I would 100% recommend watching that one, because I'm not going to break down exactly how Moneyball works in this season. But when it comes to building this team, effectively what we went ahead and done is sold the players in the club which were performing the best and wanted by big sides. As you can see, someone like Danny Loader that we sold was like 70 million pounds, and we brought in someone like Luca Lagioni was the signing we went ahead and brought in for 15.5. Come in, got above a 7 in the 3 seasons he was here and was absolutely fantastic, and replaced him instantly. Martin Bacciarina, Vasco Suaza, Tobias Gullikson. You can see everyone here is performing at a very, very high level, and regardless of who I click on, the season we signed them, they had a very, very good season before they joined. And again, that is something which I think is massively underlooked on Football Manager, is to sign players based on how they're performing in the game over at their clubs. Someone here like Kevin Castagno moved over to Zenit St. Petersburg, dropped a 7.38, a 7.52. We signed him for £8 million for 7.18 average rating. He's now worth £27 million, and that was a signing to replace Nico, who left to go to Real Madrid for £75 million. For £8 million, brought him in, replaced him. So easy, because we went ahead and used the Moneyball method of signing players that are performing well in game. And again, I implore you to go ahead and watch that one to find out exactly how to use Moneyball. That is the reason we went so well in this save. Someone like Daniel Denisov, we ended up setting 2 right backs in this save because our right backs are so high performing in this tactic. This guy's been smashing it over in Russia. We signed him for £6 million. He was 7.15, now a value of £20 million. Wanted by Al Nassr already. We've already sold Raul Belanova, who was our first signing, for around £50 million, and João Mario to Arsenal for around £60 million. I reckon in a season or two's time, this guy will be up at that value again. Go ahead, sell him, and bring in someone cheap who is performing in a game. I cannot stress enough that high performers in the game bringing into your saves are unbelievably underrated. Don't just go based on the star ratings, go based on how they are performing. I mean, if I was to go right now and show you an example, as you can see, Igor Daviv is the worst performing player in the squad based off average rating this season, dropping just a 6.89. He was a brand new signing this season for £7.5 million after absolutely killing it over in Russia. Hasn't quite made the step up to Portuguese football, so maybe he's not quite going to be at that level. So we'll see if we can go ahead and replace him at 28 years of age, a value of 21 million. I don't think it's a bad player to maybe come in for a season and go ahead and move on. I've gone ahead and set up my scouting searches. Again, these are all downloadable in that Moneyball video that I went ahead and released just a few weeks ago now. I'd 100% go and watch that one. Looking at centre backs, less than a value of £40 million, above a 7 average rating. The first player that's come up is Andreas Endo. Now, this guy's stats might not look absolutely fantastic. I would get a full scout report on him. I would go in depth into the percentile screen, see what he's like. Again, they are all based on that spreadsheet. So this guy might be in the 95th percentile in a passing out from the back, centre back. And again, it's really hard to describe if I'm not looking at the spreadsheet and you guys can't see it, but it is all on that Moneyball rebuild, and exactly how to go ahead and do it is there. There are some fantastic players here, which I have no doubt would come into this team and absolutely smash it, and is how I've built this whole squad. Alex Terzic, Igor Daviv, Daniel Denisov, Kasper Tobias. Diego Costa left us for £70 million. We signed him for £3.3 million, and he's dropped 2 above 7 ratings here in Portugal and transitioned the league absolutely fantastically. Kevin Castagno, I've already shown you. Tobias Gilkerson. Vasco Suaza was a wonder kid here at the club who was, just ticking away and going out on loan and being in the B team, absolutely smashing it and coming up on every single one of our reports to go ahead and use him. I ended up trusting him, and he has paid me back ridiculously. 7.48, 7.4, 7.21, and absolutely smashing it, and has been brought up into the first team, where he's now one of the best players in the team. Martin Bachirina, fantastic, and Evan Nielsen. There's just not been enough sort of want in him to go ahead and sell him. 48 goals in 50 games this season. The whole bench is pretty much based off players like that. Someone like this, Geronimo Russo, 14 goals, 11 assists this season. We signed him for £5.75 million from Argentina, where he hit a 7.02 average rating a couple of seasons ago, hitting 8.3 in just 2 games, but was a no-brainer in terms of signings, the way he's been performing for that sort of price. Coming over to Portugal, 14 goals and 11 assists in a 7.35 average rating. And I understand this video, I've gone through all of this with the Porto rebuild, but I feel like you guys need a complete Invincible season video and exactly how I went ahead and done it. So if you've watched that Porto video, you might be sort of watching stuff twice, but if this is your first time on the channel, I do rebuilds pretty much 2 to 3 times a week over here, and I absolutely love making them. And the way we went invincible in this Porto save was like nothing we have ever done before, hence the standalone video for season number 5. And again, this is season number 5, and again, just to check on scouting and how I went ahead and done them. 15 to 20 year old wonder kids, there has been a video on this on the channel back in December, the best way to find wonder kids. That video still gets so much love at the moment from people in the comments. That go ahead and watch that one. So if you're struggling to find fantastic wonder kids, go ahead and watch that video. You can see a very, very basic setup of it here, but if you want an in-depth on how to go ahead and do it and find players just like that guy there from Colombia, Hugo Paz, Bolivian, centre back with 20 determination, I never would have found this guy before, but due to this scout method, we've gone ahead and done it, and he looks absolutely fantastic, and he's going to be available for around £2 million. So why on earth not go and sign him? That is pretty much everything on how we went invincible this season. Staff-wise, I left a lot of it to the game, but went ahead and hired people that we were struggling in terms of training. I left it to the game. If you want to go ahead and use an RDF training schedule, that's the one I would recommend. Feel free to go ahead and do so. Personally, I can't get my mind around it, so I leave the game to go ahead and do it for me. The signings are the biggest thing. The tactic is absolutely fantastic, and I cannot believe we went entirely invincible 365 days without losing a game. If you have enjoyed this season 5 sort of invincible showing of the Porto rebuild, feel free to go ahead and watch that one down there. Or if you want a brand new rebuild to go ahead and watch, I rebuilt Roma on Wednesday, and it was absolutely unbelievable using hidden bargain wonder kids, and that is just down there. So feel free to go ahead and watch them ones. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you next time.